Good afternoon and welcome to the Enterprise Cup Finals 2025. This is the 86th edition. It's been running for that long. It was first played in 1930. Today we are being hosted in Nakuru at the refineries. That is the Menengai Oilers home ground. First time we've come back to this area since 1964 after 60 years. And as you can look at the squad there, Menengai Oilers coming in with an almost unchanged side from the Kenya Cup Finals. And there you will see Francis Atiti, Celestine Boy, Vincent Mwikhali in the front row. Then in the second row you'll have Ibrahim Ayo, Charles Osgood. And then in the back row you have Amos Obaye, who has come in from the bench and coming in to just steady that back row together with Nelson Makoha and Samuel Were. Andrew Odero gets the nod ahead of Samson Osomu, controlling things at the base of the set pieces at number 9. Then 10 you have Samuel Mwaura, an unchanged backline there, Belda Dogeta and Samuel Omvuamu. Belda Dogeta actually coming in at the left wing in place of Daniel Kipchirchir, who is doing his duties for the under 20 Bathurst team. And then you do have Samuel Mvuamu and Crispin Otundo at the center, Shitundo at the centers, Timothy Omela packing on the right with his boot, and Abutwali Bwesonga pretty much unchanged. At the reserves, of course, the finishers, you'll have Emmanuel Mulindo, who's new to the squad, new to the match squad today. The Distrias Ifedha, Victor Were, Wallace Onyango, Fortune Aturo, who started in the Kenya Cup Finals today, sitting on the bench. Then Elkias Musonye, ever reliant, Samson Onsomu, and then John Okoth looking to come back stronger every time, and Stephen Arunga. Of course, Coach Gibson Weru coming in with his squad today, hoping to lift it for the first time after he did so as a player for Nakuru back in the years. Kabras side, this is pretty much unchanged. Ephraim Odo, Eugene Sifuna, Asuman Mugerwa all started in the Kenya Cup Finals. They do start today in the front row. You have Hilario Odhiambo and Patrick Sabatia Lumumba at the second row. And there is a tweak there, George Nyambua taking on the back row together with Gabriel Adero and Jinson Msoga. Gabriel Adero coming in from the bench. He was in the bench in the Kenya Cup Finals. George Nyambua shifting from the second row to the back row. We'll see what that leads to. Barry Young taking up his position at number 9. Of course, the Tambeni Dukisa starting there at number 10. Alfred Orege coming back into the squad here, starting at number 11 on the left wing. Then you have the trusted pair at the centers, Walter Okoth and Bryson Adaka, together with Griffin Chow and Eric Cantona, pretty much unchanged. The finishers, you have Teddy Akala, Edward Mwaura, Emmanuel Otieno, and then from there it's a whole new bench with Brian Juma, Collins Indeche, Samuel Omolo, Jackson Sketa, Humphrey Asiligwa, all coming back in place of the Kabras Sugar players who have been selected to play in the Kenya Sevens and missing out on this match day selection. So those are the teams. That's the team that you will find today taking on each other in these finals. Kabras, of course, have been here 6 times. Their first 2 appearances they lost to KCB in 2016 and 2017. But thereafter they have had a huge grip, a tight grip on this trophy, winning it 4 consecutive times, and today they are bidding for their 5th one. When you look at it, all odds are on them to do a 5th consecutive and join the elite club of Impala, Nondis, and Eldoret, who've done all this before. Oilers, of course, this is their first finals, their path to this final. They beat Nondis 41-10 here at the Refinery in that match where they dominated. And Kabras, of course, in their semi-finals, they met their nemesis, KCB. A tight one, that one. KCB fighting back, but losing on time. And the game ended 25-21 in favor of Kabras to earn them a finals where they will bid to defend their trophy and get a 5th one. This Enterprise Cup has a rich history in it. In fact, if you look at it, first played in 1930. Those are very many years ago, and it's been consistently played since then. Of course, missing out due to the World War II. And then 1987, if you all remember, those who were there, we had the All African Games and that also made the Enterprise Cup not be played that year. 2010 was a restructure of the rugby calendar in Kenya, and casualty was the Enterprise Cup, which was not played then. And then, of course, we all remember the COVID period, 2020 and 2021, when it wasn't played. The rich cultural heritage of this Enterprise Cup is there for all to see and to get to learn. If you do your studies, you'll find that this was a cup that was first donated courtesy of Royal Navy. We had a group of British officers who were sailing and touring the African coastline, and when they docked in 1930, they had a tour, 2-week tour in Kenya and Uganda, playing teams within that hinterland. And after that, they were able to donate a trophy which was named after their vessel, HMS Enterprise. And the first days, in the first 2 years, it was a competition between the districts then, but then it moved to the clubs, and since then we have had 18 different winners. The tournament has grown, of course. Since then we used to have Tanzania and Uganda participating, and they did win. Their teams did win a couple of times, but the standout winners, of course, are Nondis, who have had this trophy 25 times. There was a period in which they did it 10 years in a row and dominated this cup and owned it. Of course, Impala with 11 to show. You find Harlequins with 10 wins. Then you have Eldoret with 6, together with KCB 6. Nakuru, of course, then hosting a number of the finals, have 7 in their cabinets. Interesting times where this trophy has been shared between two teams. That is way back in 1996, when Nondis and Harlequins, of course, drew 12-all and shared. And then you have 2003, when Queens and Impala went at hammer and tongs at each other, and after extra time, nothing could separate them at 16-all. Those are the 2 times when this trophy has been shared. But all in all, we have a fantastic afternoon for you here. There is fantastic turnout of the home crowd coming to support Menengai Oilers, who have never beaten Kabras, of course, in the 15-a-side model of the game. And in this code, today they feel, the home crowd feels that this is their time to turn tables on their brothers from Kabras Sugar. Kabras Sugar, of course, looking to go for the 5th one. They have all the experience. They know what it takes to win. Oilers just making their first finals in the Enterprise Cup. Very shortly, we will begin the match. Of course, we have center referee coming all the way from Zimbabwe, Gideon Mensah. Those who are keen and watched the previous Safari Sevens, he was there, and as a contingent of the foreign referees who came by to ref. He was an astute player during his days. He's played for basically all major teams in Zimbabwe. Played for the Cheetahs, he's played for the Sables, Zimbabwe A, and the Goshaks, who, if we can remember from our stint playing in the Currie Cup, these are teams that we met. He retired in 2019 and has been very good with the whistle, winning accolades and winning awards in this short time from 2019 to date as a referee. So we have a match that is well-resourced, well-refereed this afternoon. Of course, supporting him is Robinson Kiplagat and Bonfotra Alumasa, assistant referee 1 and 2, who will be patrolling those touchlines and assisting Gideon Mensah in officiating this match. Shortly, of course, kicking us off will be Menengai Oilers with the ball in hand there, Abutwali Bwesonga. And all the home fans expecting that this time round it will not be a 1-point loss like what they had in the Kenya Cup finals, but they'll emerge winners. Kick off and we go. That ball is short. That ball is short. Didn't cross the 10-meter mark. And we will be back with a scrum down. First error of the game. Have a scrum down right at the center of the pitch. And Kabras having ball in hand, quite early days. The underfoot is good for running rugby. No slippery ball, just sufficient sun, no heat. The weather is cool.
Let's go.
Makes for a very good day for running rugby. All the purists who love the game. I think both teams are able to employ whichever tactics they want, with the weather being favorable. Last time we saw Menengai Oilers with a very strong pack, kept shoving Kabras, especially in the second half after the substitutions came in. But this first half, with a full complement of 8, Kabras looks strong in that one. The ball pops out, referee is unsighted and just calls it back.
Talk to me, talk to me.
Consulting with the assistant referee who was cited and who saw it.
Time off.
Just goes to consult because the referee was standing on the other side, of course. This is where your assistant referee comes in to help you with a call on what happened. The ball pops out. You have an opportunity to reset that one.
I can't. We'll fix it later on. All right, gents, we're going to retake the scrum. My radio is not working properly. We're going to take it again.
Just calls it back.
Yeah.
Awards Kabras.
Time back on. Let's take it again. Right, locks in.
Of course, starting at number 9 for Oilers, Andrew Odero coming from the bench. When he came in last time, the two teams were playing. He upped the tempo, kept the back line well fed with ball. And those racks were very short in time. Takes it to the left, a preset move. Just unleashes here Griffin Chow, but Samuel Omvuamu is on him. And Kabras get to reset. Taking their time here. The captain.
Stay, gents, move back.
George Nyambua, ball is out. Goes to the trusted foot, right foot of Dukisa, who raises it up high. Takes time and it's contested. There's a knock on there.
Lost in the air.
Early on here, same set book, same template as last weekend. Play in your opponent's half, and just try and capitalize on any errors.
Right.
And in this time, there was a knock on. But your kick is as good as your chase. And in that one, all things panned out well for Kabras. Now they enjoy territory inside Oilers' half.
Find! Sit! Hold it!
Look at that collision mid-air. It's a fair contest. Otherwise, we'll have seen a penalty for that. Good ball off the base of that track. Looped pass out to Orege, who runs right down the right channel there. Strong carry by him, gains some meters. Nyambua and offload by the forwards. Good going here, just 7 meters short of the try line. Alarm bell starting to ring here for Oilers as they explore, moving it out wide. They have numbers to burn, and that looks like a first try. It's a knock-on. How unfortunate. With the try line beckoning, no defender in sight. And he knocks it on.
Knock on by Kabras.
Game of tight margins. How crucial is that mistake early on? 4 minutes played. They worked it so well. Bunched up the Oilers defense, then took it out wide. Created an 2-man overlap and just ball handling there. Saving Oilers. Look at that pass out wide. And just when he sees the trail, Patrick Lumumba just knocks it on. Oilers survive that one. They have an opportunity to exit from their 22 here. Saved by the poor handling of Patrick Lumumba. They like to mix it up a little bit, not going for the exit play. Just looking at exploiting the back line, the defense of Kabras. Just getting out of their 22 here, but still have a lot of work to do in defense. This is a pressure time for them. Another loose pass. Just early days, people with jittery, jelly hands. Once it settles, we'll see less of that. A bit of push and pull there at the base of that track, but game plays on. Patient build up here, but referee penalizes Kabras. at that rack. And there is a medical break here.
Ankle.
We will just see who is down and getting attended to.
Robinson.
The ref calls timeout so that we can have a medical break. Early days here, 5 minutes played, but Kabras just making the intentions known, not wanting to play in their half. That raised ball by Tukisa just keeping Oilers in their half. Oilers, of course, just knocking it on and applying pressure on themselves, not being able to exit.
Just a quick one.
And after a good build-up play,
Punching in the racks.
with 2 minutes on the clock, Kabras had an overlap that they didn't utilize. That knock-on might come to rue later on in the game. Of course, this is the third time they are meeting in this 15 squad of rugby this season.
Captain.
In the first one,
Captain, I told
Kabras just managed to get a win 2014 in the Kenya Cup League phase, and in the return match, which was the Kenya Cup finals, Kabras really surviving that one, off the races very quickly in that one, half-time lead of 17-9, and then stretched the lead further before Oilers mounted a comeback. It was monumental, but they just ran out of time on the clock. That game ending 27-26, handing Kabras their fourth consecutive Kenya Cup victory. And in this one, all to play for as they look to etch their names into the history books here. They have dominated the rugby landscape for the last 6 or so years, winning everything that is on offer in the 15s rugby. Most of these players, of course, are battle-hardened, played in several finals, played in tough matches, donned the Kenya Simba jerseys, a lot of experience in them, but none of it matters here if Oilers walk away with this one. Oilers, of course, very determined, play a very interesting, a very captivating brand of rugby. They really use their boot to good effect. They have play grabbers, play chip balls, play territory games. They keep the defense honest, always moving the ball side to side, coupled up with their strong scrum. And you find yourself conceding penalties, you'll be in trouble. They have a big boot in Timothy Omela, who's at times almost single-handedly won games for Oilers. We just hope that Jinson Misoga will be well, heavily bandaged left foot there as he exits the game this early. Really sad. He would have wished to play through.
I'm watching.
Collins Indeche, of course, coming in to replace him. And we have the opportunity to restart here. Center referee Gideon Mensah, very experienced referee from Zimbabwe, honoring us and officiating this the Enterprise Cup Finals, the 86th edition. Barry Young with a put-in. Just hoping that he can get a penalty out of that, but the scrum was steadied. Dukisa once more, targeting with the box kick, targeting the back line there. And they survive this one. Samuel Moura up in the air and retains the ball. It was called as a mark, successful one. Almost collided with his teammate there to give Kabras the ball, but good solid hands under the high ball. He runs things well from the number 10 jersey. He's got a good rugby brain in him. Finds touch. And for the first time now, Oilers coming into Kabras half, albeit with just a meter or so.
Wait for me. Move.
Eugene Sifuna just getting some instructions from Ephraim Odor as they go for a short line out, 4-man line out. It's contested and looks like they have play the man in the play the man in the air, and you're not allowed to do so in the lineouts, and especially in open play. Just when they had gotten into Kabras half, they are taken out by Dukisa's touch finder.
Captain 4. Captain. So they should
very tentative times here.
No worries.
Kabras have had all of the ball, all of the territory this first 10 minutes.
Move back.
And Menengai Oilers just going through their defense patterns here and everything. Winning that ball, turning over the line out. Miscommunication between the thrower, Sifuna, and the jumpers. And then they also get penalized for not rolling away in that tackle area, denying Oilers an opportunity for a quick ball. And Oilers once again, second time lucky, just get to exit from their half.
James, dominate numbers.
Pretty much going similar script with last time. Both teams just being cagey in these opening minutes. Haven't had more than 4 phases of play. That speaks to the tension there. As you see, not counting numbers.
Let's go back.
Gideon Mensah not giving them any opportunities here to chat back. Game quickly moves on. Kabras really carrying strongly.
All right, fine.
Loop pass there from Beni Kisa, but Cantona just loses that one in contact. Kabras not shy to use the 15-meter channel. Always look to stretch the ball out wide when they get the opportunity. And they did score some fantastic tries in the Kenya Cup finals with that approach.
Captain Kabras, please come. So there was a leading elbow.
Gideon Mensah, the center referee, having a busy first 13 minutes.
24, please come.
Again, it's up to the imperative of the players to just understand what the referee is looking at. Every referee has their own personality and their own interpretation of different facets of the game. And whoever just learns to play with the referee early enough can benefit those early exchanges. Finally, Timothy Omela's boot gets Oilers onto the 22 mark for Kabras. 22-meter mark, and Kabras just now called to their defensive duties for the first time really in this match. We will look to see how effective and how efficient Oilers are with ball in hand first time in Kabras 22. But they need to secure this line out. Again, referee identifying that channel not being wide enough to allow for a fair contest. Tense moments here. They elect to go to the back of the line out and lose it. And immediately punished by Walter Okoth, who is very sure with that kick. Quick line out. Of course, that is allowed. And Wesonga just trying a fancy pass there. Over the head pass that goes forward, travels forward. When they had an opportunity with a quick throw. A lot of errors here. And Oilers just not taking advantage, not taking care of the ball when they have it. Ceding possession very easily. This maybe has something to do with their mentality on just wanting to keep pressure, defensive pressure on Kabras. But that was an opportunity lost, if you ask me.
Sit and hold it there.
They've seldom have enough ball in these first few minutes. They've taken care of the possession that they've had. Barry Young with a good feed there, the base of their scrum, and Walter with a carry there, short one. Cuts back in and referee plays advantage. George, the captain, comes in, the strong carry, and referee judges that there is no advantage. There was a knock-on by Oilers in that contact area.
So, Captain, let's talk
Huge
about
collisions
that one.
here.
So it's fine if one goes in.
Second man to need attention.
Right.
Second man to need a medical break these first few minutes.
So it's always good on a break like
It's
this.
been a long season. This is the very last match in the 15-a-side code of Kenyan rugby season. After this, of course, we shift gears and move on to the national duties.
You okay?
Kenya Simbas looking to participate in the Rugby Africa Cup 2025, which doubles up as the Rugby World Cup qualifiers, which will be played in June, hosted by our neighbors Uganda.
Take it.
Those will be 8
Number
teams
9,
going
nine more feet.
at
You
it
stay, don't encroach.
for the one ticket
Once you
to go
there-
straight to the
No,
World
if
Cup.
you stay here, you just stay here.
Of course,
If you
the
go to
runners-up
that,
will have
you
to make
maintain.
do with an
1 meter.
playoffs with an Asian,
Crouch! Bind!
with our Asia brothers to see who goes through
Hold
the
it.
repechage
Steady!
direction.
Steady! Let's go.
This Enterprise Cup has been played for the first time right between and in between the Kenya Cup season. Something that has not happened. We always have had the Enterprise Cup being played. Surfaces to have a flowing game,
Robinson, are you happy with the last
and
tackle,
that is
number
down
2?
to the players. That is down to the discipline. That is down to the way the players are taking care of the ball, getting into the contact areas.
It's coming in late.
And
It's
Gideon
coming in
Mensah
late,
has
but it's fine.
had a
Are you happy
handful.
with the tackle?
Look at that collision, really dangerous. But yeah, the players have a right to contest that ball, but you must
Captain,
always have your wits
so
around you.
One late tackle there, almost late one here again. So let's fix it. All right,
And
gents, we are
Celestine Boy at the receiving end, at the
Yeah, sure,
coming
sure.
out worse,
quick one.
but still
quick
able
one.
to play on from that collision.
Just wait we are.
So the Enterprise Cup this season has been played right between the Kenya Cup fixtures. It has afforded all teams the opportunity to field really strong sides. If you have been an avid and an ardent fan of Kenya rugby, you will notice that the Enterprise Cup in the last few seasons has been played with the finalists missing out on their strong players who normally have to come in for training, the Kenya Simbas, and also honor Kenya Simbas fixtures. But this time round, all teams have been able to field their best
Captain, what do you want?
and
22
giving a
scrum.
lot of credibility and a lot of rugby, good rugby, quality rugby to the fans who come to grace these finals.
Is the captain only? Definitely.
Several scrums that have happened so far in
Thank you
this
for
first
that.
half. A lot of breakages in play.
Stay on the line.
We are yet to really see any opportunity for both teams, except for what Kabras lost out in the first 3 minutes. There's not been really any scoring opportunities since then.
Stay there.
And stadium here a little bit quiet right now
Let's use it.
as the fans get engrossed in the game. Tense moments as both teams looking for the fast scores. Big hit there coming in on Eric Cantona, taking him a few meters back. Kabras regroup again. Kambua with as many carries,
Stay on. Stay on.
6 or so in this first half, really has stand up for the game. Barry electing to go for the box kick, and a lot of confusion there, knock-ons, and one area that Oilers have been unable to clean up, really. These high balls just
No
being a
control,
nuisance for them. No communication, no man calling it. But again, it's a testament of the good kicking by Kabras. Not going too deep, and when they do, that ball hangs high enough to allow for the chasing to be accurate and apply pressure on Oilers.
Bind.
Oilers not being able to handle these box kicks well
Hold it steady.
and getting pinned in their half. One tends to think it's a matter of time before Oilers actually pay for this.
Advantage.
Barry with a set move there, loose pass that is picked up, and just as Beldad Ogeta was about to fire his turbo engines, his jet shoes and go for it, the referee calls them back. Fact, it's a penalty, which is quickly elected for a first shot of the game at 3 points. The sure foot of right foot of Tambeni Dukisa missed a big part of the season with an injury that he picked when he was doing duties for the Kenya Simbas. Just came back in time. Actually, when he first came in, it was during the round of the quarterfinals that Kabras were playing Queens at the Forest in this Enterprise Cup. And since then, he's been a constant fixture, lines it up, sails it. And it looks a miss there. Collector's item there from Dukisa. This time, his right foot not accurate.
Behind the ball.
And once again, Oilers just surviving the onslaught here from Kabras. Really have 9 lives, do they? Wesonga with a kick that is out and not handled well by Cantona, but he's a slippery customer, that one. Wriggles himself out of that situation and takes the ball out to the right. Walter, of course, with a strong carry, and Kabras right back in Oilers' half. Patient, and just building it up. Again, numbers to burn out here. But Oilers employ a good scramble defense and able to nullify that attack from Kabras' backline. It's been a long season. Perhaps that speaks to what we are seeing here. A lot of players going to the ground, needing attention on both sides, on both teams. Played quite a number of matches. If you're to count the 11 played in the Kenya Cup, and then you come here and you add, for those who, both teams actually had a bye, started in the round of 16. Looking at quite a number of matches played during the season, and it's showing here.
14. Once you get into that tackle, there's no need for you to make any contact.
Discussion there. Just Gideon Mensah just having a word with the Oilers captain, Ibrahim Ayon. Repeated infringement, but Dukisa just ready to have another crack at the posts. And you'll bet on him just putting this one right through.
Just wait for me.
It's a geometry exercise for him. The first one was all about the wind, and if you saw, he was just busy trying to test and see where the wind is blowing towards. Lines it up and takes a shot. Looks like it sails through for the first points of this game. First points of the Enterprise Cup finals. Finally making Oilers pay for their repeated infringements. Kabras hit the front 3-0. It's taken all of 25 minutes for the first points of this game. Reaping something from their tours and forays into Oilers' half and camping there. Oilers just lucky to actually be down only 3 points at this point. And now they kick off right into Kabras 22. Strong carry there. Collins Indeche trying to set a platform for Kabras to exit. Good ball retention. Strong in collision here. And Barry just going for a kick off the base. Really raises it high. Another troublesome kick for Oilers to handle. Didn't go deep. Mvuamu with a kick back to his back line and loses territory and ground here. Is easily arraigned there.
Stay on.
The Oilers right back in their own half. Kabras really doing a good job to exit. Playing really well to just ensure that Oilers do not camp in their half at any time. And Andrew Odero returns the ball with good measure and a good kick it was. Mvuamu was a thorn in the flesh in the last match in the Kenya Cup finals. Just tries to set base here for Oilers. Really scrappy game if you ask me. Both teams eager to go, but a couple of handling errors.
Right.
And we have our scrum, which have been quite many in this first half. The forwards, both backs just earning their pay here today. Scrum, the engine room, not a joke. Gets really hot there, and Messi, as you see, both teams trying to gain some shove on each other. Samuel Moura goes for a grabber kick, goes for territory, and did it just creep into the 5-meter channel? Yes, it did. What a good kick. Superb kick from Samuel Moura. We know he's capable of those kind of kicks. And Kabras just have to get this one right. Any error of any sort with an overthrow and they will be looking at defending on their try lines. This is just 5 meters short of their try line. Sifuna has to get this one accurate and the jumpers together. Communication has to be good. And a good throw there to Indeche, who's replaced Jinson Misoga, who got injured. And he's had quite a number of strong carries since he came in. This time round, Barry goes to Dukisa to just try and get them out of their 22. He's got a good kick that goes straight out, and Ogeta immediately starts it off to Omela. A hint and suspicion of a knock on there. Yes, it was. The keen eyes of Gideon Mensah just noting that and calling them back for a scrum down. Another handling error. Oilers showing that if Kabras are gonna go long with their kicks, they will not shy off from taking quick lineouts just to up the tempo. But in the two instances that they have done that, nothing has come out of it.
Bind! Sit! Steady. Stay there, 9.
Strong scrum here. Both teams not giving each other any. A good slice through Kabras' defense, and looks like he'll go all the way, but he gets arrested. 5 meters short. Kabras in good prime area here. But the supporting players just coming in and going off deck. And Gideon just penalizing Kabras again for interfering with ball. Again, Dukisa just with a fantastic pass to his center, Bryson Adaka, who sliced through Oilers' defense. If you look at it, look at that break right at the center of the Oilers' defense, and after that it was scramble defense. And Samuel Mvuamu just reeling in Cantona, 5 meters short. Looked really dangerous at that time for Oilers. Good scramble defense there from the Oilers number 12, Samuel Mvuamu, showing a good turn of pace after he had been left, after their backline had been left behind. Chased down Cantona, who was looking at the try line. Another missed opportunity for a 5-pointer by Kabras. But again, showing all the good work in attack, giving us the best of attack so far in this game.
Yeah, I'm watching.
And Timothy Omela just getting Oilers out of trouble here onto the halfway line. losing their line out again. Nelson Makoha with that spill in the line out.
No advantage gained. Knock on.
That's knock on. When he looked, the throw looked okay. I don't know how he missed that.
Knock on, yes, no.
Just gifted Kabras with ball. Oilers really denying themselves
Let's move.
an opportunity with ball in hand. And their error rate just racking and counting here. High error rate in handling in their set pieces, especially the lineouts. Kabras enjoying large spell of possession here.
Steady.
Bariang with a good feed. The base of that is Gabriel Adero just miscooking that play there, but Orege coming back in, the strong ball carrier, favorite of Kabras fans. He charges through like a rhino. Sifuna with another carry there. Walter Okoth goes for a chip. Henry gathers it, no, knocks it on. Knocks it on, ref goes back for the first infringement.
Number 3, offside.
Offside call there. Oilers offside from that set piece. Walter Okoth, of course, adept at both feet. He can use his left and right. Got a good foot on him for exit and attack kicks.
Let's go number 10.
And in that play, identifying the advantage that the Kabras had, he went for a chip kick just over the Oilers' defense. If he hadn't knocked it on, would have been a different stories for the Oilers. Surviving time and again.
Robin.
Another visit for Kabras into Oilers 22 here. Sifuna goes to the middle of the line out. This time it's successful. And Oilers into the gate there. Or yes, they were penalized because they already came over to Kabras' side before the jumper's feet hit deck. Therefore, an advantage play here. A freebie here for Kabras. Free shot at employing whatever attacking moves that they want to do. And they didn't utilize it well. Ball turned over to Oilers. And center referee Gideon just brings them back for the penalty. The penalty counts against Oilers just mounting here. They have been put on the back foot in their backyard. These finals being played in their backyard, popularly known as the Refinery. Hosting this 86th edition of the Enterprise Cup finals for the first time in 60 years. Last time we were here was in 1964.
Oilers, you're far away. You're not listening, you're too far away.
When Nakuru Athletic Club played hosts in that finals. Of course, this tournament littered with a lot of interesting stories that just bring the rich cultural heritage around it. It is said that the first black man to don jersey and play in the Enterprise Cup back then was the one and only Idi Amin. Some history is that succeeding to nullify the mole there that was for a while just looking menacing from Kabras.
You happy, yeah? Stay. You're right here.
Now a defensive line out here for Oilers. Celestine Boy has to get this one right. These are territories and spaces where you cannot afford mistakes. Good, successful call to go to the front of the line out. 3-man, 4-man line out, and now they have an opportunity here to build on an exit. Ball is back to the huge foot of Timothy Omela, and he gets them out of their 22. Oilers really have been pinned down in their half. Testament to their defense that they are only 3-0 down.
Hooker. Yeah.
Dukisa missing penalty kick earlier on.
That's fine, not contested.
And Kabras missing 2 good opportunities to score tries with handling errors. Just
good job.
meters short of the try line. And one that was a good scramble defense from Oilers, Samuel Mvuamu. That's why the scoreline remains 3. It's not for the lack of opportunities, but the execution of the same by Kabras. Short carry there, goes into contact. Backlines coming in at a hard angle. Walter Okoth, really dangerous times here. He goes all the way and it seems like he will get there. Yes, he does. Puts the ball down on the whitewash for Kabras' first try of the match. Walter Okoth coming in at a hard angle, supporting the earlier ball carriers, playing at their shoulders, keeping the ball popping in contact. Pop passes and Kabras hit the front, stretching their lead again with another 5-pointer. The signs were there. As you look, they took the shorter route. Really tight angles, coming in short. That was the first carry. And once he went towards deck, he offloaded to Walter, was coming in by his shoulder, and he carries through 4 tackles. He's a strong one. Remember, he also scored in the Kenya Cup finals against the very same team, so he has a knack. He understands his way around the Oilers defense. That angle is his favorite. For a man of his body frame and size, getting him after that is a bit hard. And Dukisa sure with the 2 extra points with the conversion. And now 10-0 at the front. Kabras finally reaping rewards for the territorial advantage they've enjoyed in this first half. And slowly but surely Oilers paying for not exiting, for not utilizing the ball well, for not respecting possession, gifting Kabras time and again easy possession. Just a few minutes remaining for the first half to end. The Oilers will have everything to do in the second half. If they do not cross this one. Ndeche with a knock-on. But no, it went back. Referee waves play on.
Stay on.
Right at around their 5-meter line. Kabras called to defense. They have been really clinical in their exit plays. And Dukisa once again with a good boot. Always finding touch with his kicks. Eases pressure from Kabras. And now with just a few minutes remaining, Oilers have an opportunity here outside of Kabras 22. What can they do with it? They have not really engaged. They have not had ball to manipulate Kabras defense. They have not put Kabras defense to test. Successful line out, but looks like it's a knock-on. Really, Oilers just shooting themselves in the foot here, continuously retaining possession in the line out, then knocking it on. Not doing themselves any favors. Charles was good. I mean, every time they come here, an error here, an error there, missed opportunities. And Kabras just get an easy let off here.
Crouch!
I know the head coach Gibson Weru will have some few words for his charges here.
And hold steady. Hold it.
It's an error-strewn first half for them.
Stay.
Just playing themselves short with all the potential and all the players that they have. They have to compose themselves and get themselves into this match. Dukisa with a dummy and a chip over the back line, and contestants recovers. Really a utility player. Find him playing at number 10, find him playing at the outside center, plays quite well at 15. Is really an asset and has been a stronghold for Kabras in their running in the last 5 seasons or so, where they have amassed all the 15 trophies on hand. They play their game, very simple brand of rugby, but very effective, very effective. And before you know it, they have piled points on you that you have a hard time chasing it down. George Nyambua, the captain, another strong carry, eking out 10 meters or so. Bryson Adaka with good hands. Dukisa damming here. Danger signs here for Oilers. Was that too long? That is a close call. But the whitewash seems to have been, the chalk seemed to have been lifted there when Cantona just grounded that ball, indicating that probably he grounded it outside the try box. And indeed, center referee Gideon Mensah calls it back for a 5-meter scrum.
Goal line dropout, James.
Or is it a goal line dropout? Where did the ball? Yes, it was. It wasn't touched by Oesonga there, the number 15 from Oilers, and went into the try box. Look closely here, that ball was grounded. Yeah, it was grounded outside the try area, the try box. Another opportunity there, just showing how Kabras have utilized ball in hand. Griffin Chow has been silent in this game. Strong, really fast runner on this left wing. Counter rack there. That rack is messy and it could be turned over, but the referee just calls it in favor of Kabras. Kabras will have been really far off into the horizon here with the opportunities that they have butchered, but they are still in the right places, they are still in the right territory.
Robinson, how much time do you have?
One wonders if Oilers get their act together, how Kabras will respond to that. But Kabras really have played in the right places. Oilers have had no opportunity to even get any penalties in the half. Charles Osgood, of course, again doing the same error, creeping over into Kabras' line more before the jumper hits deck, and this is an advantage being played here by the referee.
Let go now.
They have survived that maul, they still have the advantage. It's a free shot here for Kabras, knowing that they have an advantage, just going through the motions. And Indeche there with that strong carry, just short of the try line, pulled back just when he was about to stretch and score that try. Now numbers to burn out wide, a long pass, easy walk in for Orege. Kabras hit back, piling more points here. Really now putting daylight between them and Oilers. Another 5-pointer there, it was an easy one. Oilers defense just got sucked into that, into those set pieces, those racks with a free shot. Kabras could afford to just do much, be more enterprising with the ball, knowing that they were playing an advantage. That long pass from the base of that rack by Bariang, getting its man in Orege. And he puts down a 5-pointer, 15 on the board for Kabras as we look to close this first half. Dukisa raises it up but misses it. 15-0 for Kabras. Really strong, commanding performance by Kabras, doing all things right, doing everything right. And at the halftime score, Kabras 15, Oilers 0. Really dangerous times here for Oilers. They have to come back from this one. If they can get anything, they have just but seconds to go. Punished there. Strong carry. Kabras retain possession here from that kickoff. Sifuna goes in. Hard, strong carry there. Dukisa goes to his boot again, just pinning Oilers back in their half. Wesonga knocks it on. Wow. Really tough day in the office for Oilers. Nothing is working for them. Nothing is going right for them.
Went forward.
That knock-on just sums up what has been a torrid first half for Oilers. Not able to exit. Not able to play in Kabras half. No opportunities to just come back into this match. Getting punished for all this. He had his eyes on the ball, but I think just the Kabras defender bearing down on him made him take off before he got the ball. And that went right through his hands. For our Kabras here, you'll just think they will want to get a penalty here and just put a gloss on the scoreboard here. But Barry Young picks it up. Miss pass. Dukisa with a loop pass over the Oilers defense. And the referee just calls it back when Orege was just raring to go. With that forward pass, the referee calls time to the first half. Referee calls time to the first half. Kabras, of course, having it all in territory, in possession, on the scoreboard, commanding lead 15-0. The halftime Oilers have a lot to do if they have to get back into this game with them not having momentum at all. We will see you in the second half of these Enterprise Cup finals.
Taka, roll away! Advantage over!
better known as the Refinery grounds. First half has been one-sided really if you look at it. Oilers trailing 15-0 to Kabras after Kabras pinned Oilers in their own half for pretty much most of the first half, and this was also coupled by a lot of errors from Oilers with ball in hand and also in the defensive structures, just finding themselves being sliced through the middle of the pitch and also just bunching up around set pieces, especially the racks, and Kabras not being shy to use the outer channels when they swing it out wide. Oilers were made to pay. Of course, Kabras quick took them all around 15 minutes to just get themselves going. Dukisa just putting in a three-pointer, and then they made Oilers pay for repeated infringements, camping in their half, and then being able to get a try by Walter Okoth, running off the shoulder of his forwards. In that phase of play where the passage was just about popping before hitting deck, just ensuring there are no offside lines with the racks, and Walter was able to carry at least 4 of the Oilers defenders over the whitewash and score their first try. Then later on with an advantage play in Oilers 5-yard, you will say, Oilers were attracted to the racks, just leaving space out wide. Barry Young was able to swing the ball out to the wider channel and getting his man Alfred Orege, who went in, just cantering in for a try. Oilers short of numbers in that case, leading to the scoreline of 15-0. And now you're to think that if Oilers are to get back into this match, they must play a near perfect second half. It has to be a game of 2 halves. They have to clean up on their errors. Too many error rates. They had a lot of penalties, conceding a lot of penalties. And if they are able just to ensure that the high balls, the box kicks from Kabras are not something that troubles them, then they can have an opportunity to exit and hit back. But all that has to be in the next 40 minutes has to be perfect if they are to be the 19th different winner of the Enterprise Cup. This is a very old tournament, the oldest actually around East Africa, played from 1930 to date. And Dukisa just kicks us off for the second half. Just a knock on there from Kabras player.
Knock on Kabras. Oilers ball.
Ball just being knocked on there by Patrick Lumumba.
All right, let's go, gents.
Center referee Gideon Mensah again coming in from Zimbabwe. Well accomplished player in his playing days. Played for the Cheetahs, played for the Sables, Zimbabwe A, Go Sharks, before retiring in 2019, and graced us for this one. Good push there coming in strongly from Kabras. And you can see George Nyambo immediately pointing for the posts, asking Dukisa to put another 3-pointer and just to stretch the lead to 18, which will make it a tall mountain for Oilers to come back. Really, the fans were hopeful after that close Kenya Cup finals, where it ended 26-27 in favor of Kabras. They had it in them that this would be their day. And they knew they had just to tweak a few things here and there, and they will be able to put one over Kabras, their first win over Kabras in the 15 aside, but that has not, and is not showing to be, as Dukisa puts over another 3 points, stretching the lead to 18. And yeah, this is where Oilers now have to earn their money. Their fans not really amused by this performance. They came in plenty. There is no sitting space. A lot of people just standing around. They really came in plenty, hoping and still hoping. Oilers really were in the big matches just come out slowly. They started slowly in the Kenya Cup finals, got back into it.
Down, let go.
And they'll have to do the same here and some more if they are to win the match. Dukisa now putting them back there. Wesonga recovers that ball. First time he's been able to get a clean ball from the Kabras kicks. And now they have to be patient here just to build it up slowly. Make it a game of two halves. They have to keep ball. They have to respect possession. They cannot afford Wesonga with a cut back in just to release Shtundo there, who does well to offload in the tackle. Oilers going through it right to left. And a big carry there, big hit there on the defense, but all goes in. Oilers now with really good face of play here. Good use of possession. He straightens and goes through. Carries strongly there. Amos Obai, the captain. He came in at starting at number 6 this evening. Again, just Oilers looking to punish and go for a quick tap here, but Gideon just calls them back in. A good face of play there by Oilers. Amos Obai just carrying the ball in two hands, showing and going. Of course, always, for those who are learning the game, carry the ball in two hands always keeps the defender honest, because you can easily pass or you can dummy and go, and he elected to dummy and go. Made some good yardage there for Oilers. They're in a good space here, but they take the penalty, tap and go. Not going for the post to build up the lead. Omela comes back on a hard angle. And Oilers have to be patient here. They're in the right space. They have to cut out the errors. They cannot afford handling errors here. Seems like the referee is playing advantage there for offside. And he calls it back in. Oilers keen to just tap and go and catch them napping. They look to do that. Changes being done there. Victor Were just coming in with ball in hand. Coming in the front row, and they go for it. They have good opportunity, 1 meter to go, and they are just over the Kabras. Just survive, push them out 1 meter out from the try line. Just shot. The try line is just thereabouts. Oilers going about it the right way, being patient with it and going over. Was it held up? Looks like it was held up, yes. But a good start in the second half for Oilers here. Good start from Oilers, just deciding to put Kabras under pressure here. Remember, the whole of first half, Kabras never had to defend as they have done now, and that has them tuned up mentally. After having long stints with the ball in hand, always attacking. The first time that you really get to defend, you have to have your wits around you. You have to have your defensive structure right. And for 40 minutes, they were not really tested. Now Oilers here, not going for the posts, banking on their forwards to carry them over the line. Just shot there. Alarm bells here for Kabras as Oilers just barrow and go, patiently going through it. That seems like Elson Musonye who's coming. Gibson Weru just making changes here. Oilers attacking and just keeping their shape here in attack, and Omela goes over. So that's Belda Dogeta goes over for the first try for Oilers. Hitting back. They had to do this. They had to hit back right now if they had any chance to come back into this match. And just like they did in the Kenya Cup finals, Oilers starting strongly here in the second half. Gibson Weru made changes here, made substitution changes, and now the fans have their voice back. They have their hope back. First sustained time of pressure, and Kabras crack. See there, Wesonga just holding and staying straight, keeping the defenders in check there to create space for Belda Dogeta, who just had to shrug off one defender. With the attempted conversion by Omela to come, you will think, and it's off your screens there, successful conversion by Timothy Omela.
The game is going to get harder. Let's go harder.
And Oilers coming back into the discussion, into the conversation for lifting this Enterprise Cup. First time Kabras have been tested in multiple phases, and they have the chink in the armor has been found by Oilers. A very interesting, very captivating second half in store for us here. And Oilers 7, Kabras 18. And that seems to be a shot on a player who was on the ground. Very lucky to survive that one. Kabras just eager there ahead of kicker. Called back for a scrum down in favor of Oilers. Mistakes now beginning to show from Kabras. It plays mentally on you when your opponents hit back. And Oilers now with the momentum. Elkins Musonye, seasoned campaigner, coming in at number 8. Remember, he found his way over the whitewash in the Kenya Cup finals against Kabras to spark off that comeback from Oilers that just fell short because of time. They do believe, they must believe that they are able to mount a comeback here. And the fans do believe in them. The decibel levels have gone really high. They've really gone up here. And it's not quiet. The attack to go to the left here. Samson Mwaura with a carry. He's trying to manipulate the defense there. Another carry there going through. Amos Obaye really has earned his place in this. He's earned his jersey for this game. But in this case, he was penalized for holding on when the first arriving player from Kabras went for the jackal. A break here for Kabras, if only just to get their charges in order, to get their defense in order, and just to discuss what next, as Oilers just look to come back into this match. Having watched these two teams for a while, you'll know that Oilers were never going to give it up that easily. They were always going to fight back. And they're doing the right things.
Okay, let me fix it now. Okay.
Kabras, just seasoned campaigners.
Number 10. Number 10.
Who have done 4 consecutive Enterprise Cups. They are gunning for their 5th one.
Yeah, we're talking about it now.
And with what they're doing,
your shoulder needs to be tucked in. I don't want you to let it out. Okay. When you're getting into contact, tucking your shoulder has to be out.
Even if the one holding the ball? Even if the one holding the ball?
If it's holding the ball, that's fine because it's attached to the ball.
Yes,
I know it's fine. It's just fixing it here.
So yes, after a long discussion there with the referee, we resume play. And it's good for the referee just to explain his calls to the players so that they do get an idea of how he interprets different situations, different breakdowns.
Sorry, James,
Kabras
don't worry.
coming back into Oilers territory here.
Yeah, I'm fixing the numbers here.
That is a quick throw before the referee was able to set the line out. It will have to be retaken.
Okay. Why do I have 2 receivers there? Why do I have 2 receivers?
And you will think Kabras are just smarting from that sustained pressure in the last 10 minutes. Smarting from that, and will want to hit back but lose that line out. But Bellad Ogeta just getting out of that quagmire, and he's off. He's a fantastic ball carrier, weaves through the defense there. Sets Oilers into Kabras' half here. They look to numbers out wide. Mwaura with just an offload to Mvuamu, who steps back in.
Let go.
Really making good use of possession. very different Oilers we are seeing here in the second half. Attacking the Kabras defense and keeping the ball alive for longer stints until that loose ball that is recovered by Sifuna, and he goes charging. He has some wheels on him. No defense in front of him. He's made some good 20 meters, and this looks like a try. And it is a try for Kabras. What a sucker punch, what a gut punch. Just when Oilers were coming in, just when Oilers were building back into this game, one loose pass and they find themselves behind the posts. That is a really gut-wrenching 5-pointer from Kabras, sucking the momentum out of Oilers. That was a loose pass. I think it was from Maura. When it hit deck, all the Kabras players came filtering through the defense, the Oilers ranks, and hacked the ball. Sifuna, with a good turn of pace, did some 20 or so meters, and that rack was quite fast. Dukisa choosing the right passes. The ball is dotted for a 5-pointer. Dukisa adding the extra 2. Just hits his man with the ball there. Gabriel Adero getting the jersey today, getting to start today. He was on the bench for the previous match, Kenya Cup Finals, and he rewards his coach, Max Sadaka, today with that 5-pointer. Of course, when you're chasing a match, you will think you need to do things at a faster pace, but that does not negate the need for you to actually have it done and executed well. And in that case, Oilers were caught napping. And how lethal were Kabras, punishing them.
Knock on by Kabras, Oilers ball.
The serial campaigner, the general himself, Samson Onsomu, comes in at number 9. He has cool head over his shoulders. There's one person that can bring them back into this one by controlling the traffic, by controlling the tempo of the game. It is Samson Onsomu.
Flankers in.
Discussions just before the match on why he was left out, why he was dropped to the bench.
Sit and
but
hold
if
it.
they need a comeback, he has to be at the center of it. Ball comes out a bit messy but recovered. Good slice through Kabras defense there, but that ball will be turned over. Orege with his hands over it, and it's turned over. One of the few turnovers we've seen in this match. And Kabras bringing to naught Oilers' attack in that game, in that first play. Another box kick by Barry Young, aimed down the chest of Elkans Musonyi, looking for his support there. And he hits deck. Onsomu just weighing his options, goes to his right. No numbers there. That ball will be contested. They did well to retain it. No numbers out there. And he just passes it to a Kabras player, and Griffin Chow will surely go all the way. He's quite fast. Yes, and punishes Oilers. What was that all about? There were no numbers, it was clear. But he passed it straight into Griffin Chow, a deadly finisher. Wow. And the wheels are coming off the Oilers refinery here. Self-destructing here. There was no need, there was no pressure. He should have just carried it in. There were no numbers out. There were more defenders than attackers on that side of the pitch. Could it be the sun? Could it be something that we didn't see? But he just passed it straight to Griffin Chow. And you can bet that he was not gonna pass that ball. A winger hungry for a try went all the way. And really, Oilers
15 seconds.
been their own worst enemies in this match.
So,
Dukisa sails, puts it high in the skies, but the conversion goes wide. Kabras now tightening the screws here on Oilers. This is a huge lead. As you see there was really little that Abutwali Bwesonga would have done. Caught him surprised that the ball was just passed to the opponent. And with his head down, it's sad sight to see for Menengai Oilers fans. But they have to work it. They have to work back and see if they can get back. 2 mistakes by Oilers with ball in hand. And they are punished severely here.
Yeah. I was blinded.
Kabras stretching their lead.
There's no need for you to shout, James. Yeah, it was the other side. Yeah.
Big lead there. 30 points to 7, and you really have to...
we good, gents, we good.
You really have to wonder if the Oilers have it in them to come back from this one. First 10 minutes they did everything right.
Point!
Then from there, just
Steady,
2 errors, and they find themselves 12 points down. Coming in hard is Samuel Omvomo and a chip. Coming in hard is Samuel Omvomo and a chip. Rubber kick to the back, but yeah, it was a chip. And
number 10, that was much better. I saw the yeah,
quite well.
We are number 10.
By Dukisa, who was supporting his back line, who was supporting his fullback, and he, yeah, with 30 points on the board to 7, you can run it a bit. Looks for the spaces behind Oilers' back line, gets and pins them down in their half.
Numbers 4.
Oilers have to keep going. Oilers have to keep at it. They have to do the basics. They have now to be really very clinical with ball in hand. There's still enough time, 20 minutes. With everything being done and executed well, they can find themselves back into contention here.
Fine, that's fine, it's fine. It was fine.
On Somu with a ball. That ball seemed to be knocked on, but no, the referee says play on. Oh, that was a big hit, but it was a high tackle, wasn't it? Barry Young might find himself in serious problem here. He went high, though he's injured, but he did go high.
I just gave you a penalty. I just gave you.
Did go high, and that looks like
just space out.
Something that will take some time.
So on that one, it didn't.
Just understand what the referee will call here.
No arms. Let's just. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, otherwise it was low enough.
Referee just indicating that there was an attempt to wrap there by Barry Young. Might be his saving grace. There was an attempt to wrap and use both hands in the tackle, but Gideon Mensah just giving himself some time, some breathing space to just make the right calls here. Even as Barry Young seems to be the one who's come out worse off than his opponent. You're just looking at that, it was a almost innocuous challenge, because you see Barry Young holding his chest.
If I need to work on, I think second half has been.
And
I don't know, those
did he make contact?
I think you have
We'll just wait to hear the referee.
Because I'm coming from behind. Yeah, 20 to go. 20 good ones. So on that one,
of course, even as we wait for the same to happen,
just to check from the side, because some of the times I'm coming
remember
from
that our under 20 team currently doing national duty, the Bathurst Cup being hosted in Zimbabwe, and they have their final match tomorrow, playing against the home side Zimbabwe at 4 o'clock. So if you're able to tune in, just tune in and see them take on Zimbabwe for the last game. Of course, Chipu just losing to Namibia 32-22 after beating Tunisia in the first match 29-21. And you will think that Namibia, who are yet to play Tunisia, might have the final say
the mark is
and walk
there.
away with the
mark
cup.
is there, so come.
Game resumes and Oilers with a throw-in. Just carry it well there.
Stay.
Looking for numbers out to his left. Samson Onsomu
Stay.
swings it out wide. Moura with a long pass to Ogeta, who is caught there and somehow succeeds to offload the ball.
Playing another advantage.
Samuel Omvuamu just shrugging off the tensions of the other defenders, and that looks like a forward
Going
pass.
forward.
2-on-1, and there's a forward
James,
pass that
You want a penalty, yeah?
just
For
curtails
penalty.
the attacking momentum there. Elkens Musonye not happy, not a good recipient of that forward pass, as we see John Okoth coming in. And just finds some green grass behind here, but referee calls for offside. This is just a seesaw of errors, and a quick tap there by Crispin Shutundo just stopped by the referee as he goes to consult his assistant referee. Penalty to Oilers, and the Butwali Bwesonga just puts it into touch in Kabras 22. Celestine Boy just puts it in. Actually, that's Emmanuel Mulindo coming in to replace Celestine Boy with that throw. He's been sure with the line out since he came in. Just one missed, one overthrown, and Oilers just have to build from here. And Somu just selecting to go to the right with numbers there. Crispin Shitundo cutting back in, but the referee says he ran behind his man and denied Kabras an opportunity to effect a tackle, resulting in a penalty and a turnover of possession when they're in the right prime area in Kabras 22. Oilers not giving themselves any momentum to get back into this match. That kick not successful, one of the few that missed out, and Wasonga just takes off. Moving pass over the Kabras defense. Goes in, and that looks like just a grab on Taka's neck there, but game plays on. A hint of offside there, and the referee spots George Nyambua on offside, penalizes him on some with a quick tap that is interfered with, and the ref adds them 10 meters for interrupting with a quick start. Oilers. Wasonga just goes for touch here. Gets into Kabras 22. And you feel like they're just going through the motions here. They need some urgency, they need some sustained ball retention. They need to put Kabras under pressure. Kabras not really feeling any pressure, if you'd ask me, contesting that line out, and Oilers still have ball in hand, still have an opportunity to reset that line out after the Kabras player just tapped it out. Fortunaturo, who started in the Kenya Cup finals, just coming in here, coming from the bench, and cleans up that rack. With a strong carry there, the captain. John Okoth is the first time we see him with ball in hand. Very enterprising runner, very entertaining runner with ball in hand, but that player was lifted beyond the horizontal lines. Barry Young at the end of it all, and is penalized for that. Referee just takes it back for an earlier infringement. And a quick tap there, off he goes. Strong carry by Amos Obaye, lifts John Okoth. There they come into the try line. Finally Oilers getting some shine on that ball, scoring Samuel Mvumu at the receiving end of that first play. Quick tap by Amos Obaye, who's been really busy, very enterprising ball carrier for Oilers this evening. And he released John Okoth. John Okoth just played a 2v1, just kept the defender in and offloaded to Samuel Mvumu, who was waiting for that ball at the outside channel. He cut back in, and the Oilers adding some 5 points to their 7, with 2 to come from Samuel Mwaura. Puts it into the skies and misses. Scores remain 30 to 12. See there, John Okoth just with his pace outsprinted his inside defender and committed the outside one, allowing Samuel Mvumu with space to run into the try box. Still have a lot to do. 18 points the difference. That is 3 scores at the very least. And that is a tall one. That's a tall one for Oilers to climb. But no fans are leaving. Fans still hopeful that if there is a team that can come back, is Oilers. They have just over 10 minutes to put a smile on their fans' faces. Good retention there. Some were exploring options out wide. Good strong carry by Fortunaturo. Another long pass, looking to attack on the 15-meter channels. Wilkins just runs back in strong ball carrier and he loses the ball. Knocks it on. But the referee was playing advantage for Oilers, a penalty advantage. Takes it back to Mark. Twali Bwesonga is gonna go for touch here. He does get touch. 10 meters into Kabras half. We have not yet seen the rolling maul Oilers have been good at. They've not had the opportunity simply because of territory. They have not camped enough in Kabras territory to effect that. Another overthrow in the line out, but retained. Fortunaturo with another carry. He's kept himself busy since coming on. Goes for a chip kick. Collision mid-air. The referee has some decision to make here. Is it a fair contest in the air? Seemed to me, but Samuel Mvumu just had his eyes on the ball. None of the players was able to get the ball. Of course, at this point, Gideon Mensah, the center referee, has to consult with his assistant referee on to a judge on whether that was a fair contest, therefore no repercussions on Samuel Mvuamu, or it was reckless from him not taking care of the opposing jumper. In which case it will be a penalty. And the stiffer sanctions, more serious sanctions, will be a yellow card. As you look at that, Moura just using Jones Okoth's run and puts it up in the air. Barry Young fast to the ball. I think Samuel Mvuamu will be in trouble here because Barry Young was in possession of the ball by the time Mvuamu hits him or collides with him.
Once again, if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, karibu sana. Welcome to the refinery. This is the home of Bengal Oilers. The Great Rift tennis
Barry Young
side
now gets a strapping
tournament winners
at the end of
hosting the 86th
the troubles he has had
of the Enterprise Cup
contest.
final. Playing against the Kenya Cup finals, Kabras Sugar. Kabras leading
So referee
30.
penalizing Mvuamu, granting as much as it goes.
Remember, we're
And
live
Dukisa
on OILERS TV
just gives them
YouTube
breathing
page.
space, kicks
Join the
into
conversation.
touch
Use
in
the
Oilers
hashtag
territory.
Enterprise Cup Ride Derby.
As we
Target
see
Kenya Rugby Union.
Teddy Akala coming in
Bengal Oilers.
the last few minutes of this match, replacing Eugene Sifuna, who was instrumental in getting that try after Oilers spilled the ball and he took charge of it, making some 20 or so meters, the resulting rack being quick enough to Benny Dukisa to just put his man through to score the try. Referee just indicating a high tackle there from Kabras, so they are on an advantage, penalty advantage. Free shot here, missed pass over John Okoth. No advantage accruing from that play. Referee calls them back for the penalty. And at this point you'll think Oilers have run short of time. 18 points with barely less than 10 minutes by far. They don't seem like they will make it back into this one. And Kabras now just doing the right things, slowing down the game. And looking to take 5th in a row of this Enterprise Cup. To join Impala, who did it twice, Nondis, who had a stint of 10 years where they occupied that one. An elite club of those who've done 5 consecutive and more. Ref calls it back for a scrum down, and really the proceedings now just slowly, momentum just going slow here. The tempo of the game just easing up here. Kabras just doing the right things to keep the clock ticking and put off dying embers from Oilers Refinery here. Barry Young with a put-in. Basic play just to exit here. Strong platform in the scrum. The ball goes out wide. Walter Okoth with a strong carry. Barry Young just gets to Dukisa, who punts the ball down pitch. Finds touch. Quick throw in by Oilers. Samuel Mvuamu with a wicked step there and another step, taking matters into his own hands, but Kabras players just swarm that rack. Numbers out wide, and Hard ball there for Nsomu just to get another short pass there to, and another strong carry there. Victor Were bumps off his man and takes off. Has some wheels in him. Dummy there from Samuel Moura. Goes to deck, but that ball might be turned over. First man in, but he went off his feet. Quick tap by Samson Nsomu, and Oilers are off. Good strong carry there by the man from the bench of Lords. Ball is still being played, advantage there to Oilers. Just 5 meters short of Kabras try line. Fortunaturo has been a handful since he came in. Going all the way just 1 meter short and a loose offload that made Kabras survive that onslaught. There was an advantage there. Referee indicates that he stopped time to get through. As we'll watch back there, look at how he takes off into the gap. Victor Were, he has eyes for his oncoming defenders and bumps off Bariang. Bariang is wise enough just to slow him down, giving an opportunity for his supporting players to come in and complete that tackle. Samuel Moura and Abutwali Bwesonga just discussing which side to attack. He's gesticulating to his players that space yourself out. It's a preset move here. If anything, just to give the home fans something to cheer about. Steady scrum, very solid scrum, and someone unleashes a pass that just goes to deck, just kills off the momentum, but Crispin Shutundo just does enough to retain that ball on Somu with another pass back in. They take it into contact. Gideon, the center referee, just asking Kabras to stay onside. And off feet go Oilers in that rack. No, actually he used an elbow. Elkins, that's not Elkins Musonye, is Emmanuel Mulindo, just carrying and leading with his forearm into contact. He'll be lucky. Even referee has really tried as much as he can not to get any cards here, but most of the time you lead with your elbow, with your forearm into a tackler, into your opponent, and onto the upper torso, into their torso, and onto their head. You'll find yourself looking at a yellow card. So ref calls the game back. Time is back on after that short medical break. And Dukisa, inside his 5 meter area, just wants to put Kabras as far away from the try line as possible. And just some gamesmanship there, just indicating that Oilers are not going 10. All that discussion, of course, takes time off the clock. Good game management there by Dukisa. Ball is in the air and loose, knocked on by Oilers as they went for it. We're into referee's time here. Any time now, this match will be called to a halt. And Kabras, for sure, with their fans already celebrating another double season where they've won Kenya Cup and the Enterprise Cup. Worthy winners, another astute season, another dominance in the Kenya 15s season. winning the prestigious Enterprise Cup. It's just a matter of time. The Oilers' challenge on Kabras' hold of this trophy really has never taken off. They have trailed the whole match, and most of it, of course, down to their own high error rate and missed opportunities. Scrum taking a lot of time to be reset here. And it's steady, and Oilers just peeling off from that contest, and the referee penalizes them, gives an advantage to Kabras, and they pull off a move that doesn't work there. Referee calls them back for the penalty. No advantage. And the stadium is quiet, really quiet. Nyambua just says, let's go for an extra 3. Wind down the clock. Going for a penalty kick here. The exertions that they have had this afternoon, pat in the back from the players, congratulating each other for their long season, for the successful defense of their title. As you see there, distraught Oilers fans, they came expecting that today will be their day where they will get one over their brothers, the Kabras Sugar. That ball sails through for another 3 points, rubbing salt into the wounds, into Oilers' wounds here. 33 on the board here for Kabras. A resounding defeat of Oilers here. Ball restart. Walter Okoth under that ball. Nyambua just attempts to get Oilers defense napping there, goes right through the rack with a carry, and Dukisa, knowing that the time is up, jogs it off and drops drop kicks the ball, of course. And there you have it, your winners for the 2025 Enterprise. A resounding win, comfortable win at the end of it all, 33-12, cementing their place as the kings of the 15s rugby. Kabras Sugar, worthy winners, deserved winners. Really professional game that they have displayed here, coming to the home of Oilers and hammering them 33-12. Oilers in their first ever Enterprise Cup finals lose it in front of their fans at the Refinery at the ASK Showgrounds Nakuru. And there, with that win, Kabras climb and hold 6 titles. They have 5 titles, I beg your pardon, of the Enterprise Cup, and slowly but surely bring the dominant club in this period of time, in this age. They went about it well. They denied Oilers any territory. Much of the game was played in the first half, really. And after they set the tone, they just waited for Oilers, who were chasing a big score, and mistakes were bound to happen. Oilers punished after they dropped the ball twice, and with that the scoreboard just opened and became too much for them. But congratulations to them, first finals, and they will regroup and start all over again. This, ladies and gentlemen, has been the last 15th fixture for our Kenya Rugby this season. We look forward to another season. From here we move, of course, to the Kenya Simba national team fixtures, and we also move to the 7th circuit, local circuit, 6 legs in all. That starts in July 26th at Driftwood, then Prinsloo, then Christie, and there's an open leg there. Then Kabeberi and Dala 7s in September. Even as you see Kabras fans there celebrating, doing a lap around the refinery. The dominant force in Kenyan rugby at this time. They are used and spoiled of choice, used to their winning ways. They expect their team to win each and every 15 championships they get into, and indeed they have. We thank you even as we look forward to see Kabras lifting the Enterprise Cup and adding it to their Kenya Cup. We'll leave you with the scenes here of the players.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, big thank you for being around, sticking around, and now for the attention to the award ceremony. And I'd like the following to come forward. Match officials for the Enterprise Cup final. Player of the final, ladies and gentlemen. Runners up for the final and the winning team.
Ibrahim Ayo, once again, nyumbani, mambo imeendaje? Sum the game for us.
I think this Kenya Cup, the boys have had a very good season.
We've been into the finals of all the games we've played. I think much credit to the boys, to our management, good work has been done. And I know there is time for the trophy, and it will come. And when it comes, we'll play.
Speaking of the time for the trophy to come, Kabras this season have been very, very good. They won away. You guys have hosted the Enterprise Cup final. What are the lessons moving into the next season, considering that you guys have had one of the best seasons ever?
I think just to give them credit, Kabras is a good side. They're a championship side. And just playing with them and playing with them, I am sure they know the teams are now cracking their code. And when we crack it, we came too close this season, but we'll try again next season. There's no any other way.
It's good that you brought up next season. You will try again next season. Thank you so much for this season. You guys have been fantastic. You have led from the front. And of course, as you guys close down the season, you can be proud of everything you guys have achieved this season. Thank you so much, Captain, and all the best.
Thank you.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, time now for the winning captain. Captain George Nyambua, ladies and gentlemen. We've had this conversation once, twice, thrice. Captain, you keep winning. Tell us the secret of Kabras.
The secret is hard work. We've been really working hard this season, and our mission was to defend the titles, both Kenya Cup and Enterprise, which I believe today we've achieved what we planned.
You've gone back to back in terms of Kenya Cup and Enterprise Cup, but this one is very sweet. Remember, the last game you played, Menengai Oilers in Kakamega, was a 1-point difference. You came out of the blocks today. The intent was very clear. What a final to play this year's Enterprise Cup.
What I'll say, the Kenya Cup final, we made a silly mistake towards the end of the game, which we had a chance to rectify on the mistake that we did last game. And coming into this game, we knew all of us were going to come hard, especially the first half, so we had a plan for this game. And we managed to outplay them and finish the game in the first half. So second half, we were just piling pressure on them and scoring pressure to make sure that they're not coming back into the game.
You managed to silence fans from the onset. Remember, this crowd was really baying for Kabras blood. Tell me about the season. Talk about the fans, Kabras fans. You can hear them in the background. You can hear the Oilers fans. Tell us what it means for you and the fans as you guys crown this season as Enterprise Cup champions.
I'll say this means a lot for us because the fans have been really working with us. Each and every game, both home and away, the fans were there with us. And as you could see today, more fans came from Nairobi and Western this afternoon, which if we do this, we are doing for the fans and the community back at home, everyone at home. That's why I'm saying without the fans, we could have not get this far. So we have been doing this for the fans and the community back at home. And today we really made them proud by defending all the titles. Yeah.
Captain, I want to let you go and celebrate with your team, but one final word, Captain. Sum the season for us, sum the season for your fans.
I'll say just a big thank you to the fans and the sponsor for this far, because without sponsors we could have not get this far. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank them, both fans and the sponsors especially, for making sure that everything is available and making the work easy for us to defend the titles.
Thank you so much, Captain. Go and enjoy with your teammates and all the best as you close your season. Thank you so much. That has been George Nyambua. Ladies and gentlemen, now time for the awards. All right, Coach. Like to have a word with. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Coach Gibson Weru. Gibson, once again, a tough loss in front of your fans. How do you sum up the season and, of course, this final?
First of all, I would like to congratulate Kabras for turning out well and showing the class that they are. But again, very, very disappointing. I don't think Kabras really won. I think we lost the game. We didn't turn up and we were very lackluster. So it's very disappointing and it's not the best way to end the season.
Yes, it's not the best way to end the season, but you can be proud. You guys came in second this year. It was a long shot for you guys to unseat KCB for that second position, so you can hold your heads high. Now, coach, the last hurdle, which is Kabras. How do you crack Kabras?
I think it's been a work in progress. I think we've grown over the years. The hurdle was, of course, KCB. They are a quality side, but they are still there. But again, if you look at the way Kabras is composed, very experienced, very physical, very tactical. So yeah, it's a lot of work that we need to go back to the drawing board and see areas that we can improve tactically, and hopefully now we can be able to have one better of them. But the physical front, I think we almost getting there. Tactically, I think at times we're not consistent. If we're able to get the consistency going and the physicality going and playing for 80 minutes, then we might have a chance.
Yeah, speaking, you guys need to play for 80 minutes, just like you said. It has been a very, very challenging season. You won the 10s last weekend, at least something to smile about. And I'm hopeful that you guys can have a good season moving forward. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys over the shorter version. Thank you so much, coach, and all the best as you proceed. Thank you.
Very much.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Coach Gibson Weru. Now time to hear from the assistant coach standing in for Carlos Katia, Max Adaka, former Kenya international. Ladies and gentlemen, coach, karibu sana once again. Oilers, full time, it's a win for Kabras. What do you guys attribute to today's victory?
First of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. What we had to do from the previous game is that we had to solve some few issues that were bothering us in the other game. So basically we went for the scrums. We sorted out the issue that was there in the scrums, and then we upped our game. Because as I remember, the other game, the final, Kenya Cup final, they were mainly scoring through our mistakes. So we had to polish so that we can come out on top.
Well, Kabras have won literally everything that there is to win. With the winning, in comes the complacency, and of course, the chasing pack will be looking forward to dealing with Kabras. Now, how does Kabras move forward? What else is in store in terms of Kabras?
With winning comes complacency. But we always talk to the boys, tell them they need to keep going, keep working hard. We bring in fresh blood from high school or from wherever we get them, and they get into Kabras culture. That's the only way we have to stay on top.
Yes, speaking about our culture, Kabras has had a culture of winning the local games. It's now time, ladies and gentlemen, for you guys to go home and rest and, of course, enjoy with your fans. But one thing before you leave from the technical side, what do you tell the fans, the people who have consistently followed Kabras over this season, and, of course, the sponsor who backs everything happening at the Forest?
What I can say to the fans, to the sponsors, and to everyone who supports Kabras, there's still so much we're going to do. We're still working hard, we're still putting in the hours, and I know with God on our side, with luck on our side, we're still going to come again here and win every other final.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, coach. I'd like to appreciate your efforts, and of course, thank you so much for that final. Congratulations. Many thanks. That was Max Sadaka. Now time, ladies and gentlemen, to give our awards to the winning sides and, of course, the runners-up. And first up, I'd like to ask our center referee and the match officials kindly to start making their way. Who's awarding them? That's what I need to do.
Gareth Doe, Head of Procurement.
I'd like to ask Gareth Doe, Head of Procurement. Gareth Doe, Head of Procurement at Rice Sugar, to kindly make his way to the award ceremony to award the match official. Jina Nkajina ya ref. All right, the trio of, ladies and gentlemen, the center free Gideon Mensah from Zimbabwe, receiving his medal. Let's move to the center there, to the center. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, coming all the way from Zimbabwe to officiate in the Enterprise Cup final. Put your hands together for Gideon Mensah. Thank you so much, Mr. Doe. Thank you so much for that award. Head of procurement from the RAI group. I'd like to ask Joshua Aroni, Treasurer, Kenya Rugby Union, to kindly join the award ceremony. Bwana Joshua Aroni, naomba tafadhali ufike mzee. We are awarding who?
Robinson Kiplagat. Yeah, Bonfatra Lumasi.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Joshua Aroni, Kenya Rugby Union Treasurer. He'll be awarding our assistant referees, in goes Bonfatra Alumasa and Robinson Kiplangat. Wacha maliza. Hey, boss, usiingie huko kwa picha, Thank you so much. Congratulations, Bonfas. And receiving, ladies and gentlemen, is Robinson Kiplangat. A photo moment with the Treasurer of Kenya Rugby Union, Bwana Joshua Aroni, Daktari Joshua Aroni. Thank you so much, Daktari. I'd like to ask Mensa referee to join in the photo with our Treasurer of Kenya Rugby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the trio that were in charge of the 80 minutes that resulted in the Kabras win. Back-to-back champions of Kenya Cup, back-to-back champions of the Enterprise Cup. Asante sana Daktari Joshua Aroni for that award. I'd like to ask Kenya Rugby Union Director in charge of commercial, Harriet Okach, naomba tafadhali Director ufike. Makia. Harriet Okach, Director. Ladies and gentlemen, Harriet Okach getting ready to award the player of the final. Ladies and gentlemen, your player of the final, Ntabeni Dukisa. Ntabeni Dukisa, the king of the air, ladies and gentlemen. He kept on asking Menengai Oilers questions with his boots, converted quite so much in terms of the efforts, and on his side, the trophy. Very experienced, ladies and gentlemen, flying it straight with Kabras Sugar and coming out as a champion once again. That is Ntabeni Dukisa. Time now for the runners-up, and I'd like to ask the following to kindly make their way forward. Chief Financial Officer Rai Sugar, Bwana Ray Orlando, Kenya Rugby Union Secretary, naomba tafadhali muingie kwenye jukwaa. What's your name? Charles Tiro. And awarding is Charles Tiro, CFO, the RAI Group, and Ray Orlando, Secretary, Kenya Rugby. Bwana Ray Orlando, mahali uko tafadhali, we need you. Thomas Odundo, Chief Executive Officer, Kenya Rugby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your runners-up for the 2025 Enterprise Cup Final, the Menengai Oilers. The Menengai Oilers, tafadhali naomba mpike for the award ceremony. Menengai Oilers, the Menengai Oilers. Mbona hatujapanga hawa sasa?
Waite tu.
Ibrahim Ayo and company. Ibrahim Ayo and company, naomba tafadhali mfike. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the runners-up side of the Kenya Cup season. And now once again coming in second in the Enterprise Cup final. Falling in the final hurdle to Kabras Sugar once again. Ibrahim. Leading his charges is the captain of the Menengai Oilers side, Ibrahim Ayo. And they will be receiving their individual medal awards from the Kenya Rugby Union CEO, Thomas Odundo, Kenya Rugby Union Secretary, Ray Orlando, and finally, the CFO Rai Group, Charles Tiro. This lot of gentlemen will be proud of their efforts, ladies and gentlemen. They came in second in the regular Kenya Cup season, came in second in the playoffs, came in second in the Enterprise Cup final. Most importantly, they finished the season with a medal around their necks, signaling the hard work over the last couple of months, which culminates in blood, tears, and of course, a lot of sweat. This is the runners-up, the Menengai Oilers. And remember, they threw this party. This is the first time that this refinery has hosted the Enterprise Cup final. And what a venue this is. Thank you so much, the Menengai Oilers, for having us. And of course, thank you so much for entertaining us over the last 80 minutes of that final. All right, the Old Farm, show your love for the Menengai Oilers. Speaking of the Old Farm, thank you so much for the Menengai Oilers family, the fans, the management, the players. What a season, and congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you so much, Oilers. Asanteni sana. Now time for the award for the winning team. I'd like to ask the following to kindly make their way to the award ceremony. Kenya Rugby Union Vice Chair Moses Ndali and the Menengai Oilers, Onka Rai. Thank you so much, Onka Rai, for gracing this year's Enterprise Cup final. And joining in is the chairman, Simpson Osiemo, and none other than Edwin Esilaba, chairperson, Kabras Sugar, and of course, the Kenya Rugby Union Vice Chairperson, Moses Ndali. Ladies and gentlemen, hii ni maneno ya nyumbani. That is the Rai family. The chairperson, Kabras, chairperson, Menengai Oilers, Onka Rai, and the Kenya Rugby Union Vice Chair, Moses Ndali. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest cheer for the winners of the Enterprise Cup final. Let's hear it for Kabras Sugar! Kabras Sugar have made it a habit of winning cups. They've come to the home of the Menengai Oilers and walked away with the Enterprise Cup final. A back-to-back effort, winning the Kenya Cup and the Enterprise Cup final. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the cream de la cream of Kenyan rugby, and this is Kabras Sugar RFC. Ongeza. Oli. Alino. Kuja hapa unisalimie. Uli na wale wakakunyima. Sasa uko mtaani, uko happy place. Unashinda vitu. Kwanza nataka upost. Immediately ushashinda. Sijashinda. Uko aje? Wewe bana unasema urudi Kenya 7. Sikusema. Nataka urudi. Hakuna forward hiyo mtaa. Unacheza 7 simu hapa.
Hii timu ni mbaya. Tunarudi na basi leo saa mbili.
Nairobi.
Tunakuja na basi tatu.
Piga tu sherehe.
Wasa wamevota tuende kupigia sherehe na
All right, time now for that photo moment with our dignitaries. Kabras. Captain. Nyambua. George. Nyambua. Wait, enda mbele uchukue trophy. All right, the captain will be receiving the trophy, ladies and gentlemen. And awarding will be on Karai to the captain as Kabras go for their fallen soldier, making sure that everyone is part and parcel of the winning side, and of course, part of that winning photo. All right, gentlemen. Naomba tusonge nyuma kidogo. Songeni nyuma. Gentlemen, songe nyuma. Songa hivi nyuma. Haya basi, captain. The captain will receive the Enterprise Trophy, the 86th edition of the Enterprise Cup, the oldest tournament in the country, well won by Kabras Sugar, convincing 33-12 victory in favor of the reigning and defending Enterprise Cup champion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Kabras Sugar! Thank you so much, Onkarai. Thank you so much, Edwin Esilaba. Thank you so much to Simpson and Moses Ndali for that award. And there you have it, DJ Nipekitu for the champions. Ayabas, DJ, shikie kidogo tu. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the tail end of the Enterprise Cup final. Many thanks to all our sponsors. Thank you so much to everyone who's backed this game, this tournament, this final. Asanteni sana to the hosting team, Menengai Oilers. Many thanks to the Rai Group. Thank you so much to the Kenya Rugby Union, the Crime Shield Limited Company, that is our security team. Asanteni sana for coming through. And most importantly, thank you so much to our groundsman, Geoffrey Asega and company. You've done a stellar job. And finally, thank you so much to our sponsors, Oilers, the Menengai, Cream, and Kabras Sugar. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and the Kenya Rugby Union for piecing together this wonderful event. Thank you so much. I've been your host. My name is Walter Orangi. Na sasa nataka kuwawish a lovely weekend na muenjoy sherehe.
Miaka ni 650. Nilikukataza kufanya hiyo kitu.
Wewe, piga sherehe sasa. Alfi. Team na dia man. Team